Welcome back. Yeah, I know. It's been crazy all of yesterday and today, actually. So basically, what happened was I recorded two videos and I was like, all right, Thursday and Friday, they're covered. I have a friend that's coming over Friday. And from there on, I was just like, okay, friend's coming over. He'll leave early. I'll do one video. That didn't happen. Then the next day, I need to get up early for work, and I was so tired that I was like, I'm about to fall asleep. But then I couldn't fall asleep, so I was like, maybe playing a few games will help me fall asleep. Yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah, and now I'm basically right here at the edge of falling asleep. But at the same time, I don't want to fall asleep, so I was like, you know what? Might as well do these Bible readings, or else I'm gonna be even further behind on reading. Yeah. And actually, Saturday and Sunday was the days that I was supposed to finish Leviticus because Leviticus is almost finished. Because today we're probably going to do 20, 21, 22, and 23. Then it was supposed to be Sunday, which is 24, 25, 26, and 27, which are the final four for Leviticus until we go on to, I believe, Numbers. But other than that, let's just continue on with this. So I'm going to keep you guys here any longer than I pretty much let you guys. So like, share, and subscribe, and we'll get this started. The Lord said to Moses, give the people of Israel these instructions, which apply both the native Israelites and to the foreigners living in Israel. If any of them offer their children as a sacrifice to Mokle, they must be put to death. The people of the community must stone them to death. I myself will turn against them and cut them off from the community because they had defiled my sanctuary and had brought shame on my holy name by offering their children to Mochli. Huh. Sounds familiar, that name. I don't know why. And if the people of the community ignore these who offer their children to Mok, Mogia, I think that's how you would say something like that, and refuse to execute them, I myself will turn against them and their families, and I will cut them off from the community. This will happen. This will happen to all who commit spiritual prostitution or persecution, or no prostitution, by worshiping Machli. Oh, okay. So this is one of the demons or a false idol. Because I know there's some like that. I also will turn against. Nah, something's going on in the background. I will also turn against those who commit spiritual prostitution by putting their trust in mediums or in those who consult the spirits of the dead. I will cut them off from the community. So set yourselves apart to be holy, for I am the Lord your God. Keep all my decrees by putting them in practice, for I am the Lord who makes you holy. Huh. Anyone who dishonors Anyone who dishonors father or mother must be put to death. Such a person is guilty of capital offense. If a man commits adultery with his neighbor's wife, both the man and the woman have committed adultery and must be put to death. If a man violates his father by having sex with one of his father's wives, both of the man and the woman must be put to death, for they are guilty of capital offense. If a man has sex with his daughter in law, both must be put to death. They have committed a pervious act and are guilty of capital offense. If a man practices homosexuality, having sex with another man as with a woman, both men have committed a disdainable act. They must both be put to death, for they are guilty of capital offense. If a man marries both a woman marries both a man and her mother, he will commit a wicked act. The man and both women must be burned to death to wipe out such wickedness among you. Am I reading the wrong one? No, it should be the right one. If a man has sex with an animal, he must be put to death, and the animal must be killed. If a woman presents herself to a male animal to have intercourse with, she and the animal must both be put to death. You must kill both, for they are guilty of capital offense. If a man marries his sister, and the daughter of either his father or his mother, and they have sexual relations, it is such a it is a shameful disgrace. They must be publicly publicly cut off from the community. Since the man has violated his sister, he must be put to punish for his sin. If a man has sexual relations with a woman during a menstrual period, both of them must be cut from the community, for together they have exposed the source of her blood. They they do not have sexual relations with your aunt. Do not have sexual relations with your aunt, whether your mother's sister or your father's sister. This is a dishonor to a close relative. Both parties are guilty and will be punished for their sin. If a man has sex with his uncle's wife, he has violated his uncle. Both the man and the woman will be punished for their sin, and they will die childless. If a man marries his brother's wife, it is an act of impurity. He has violated his brother, and the guilty couple will remain childless. You must keep all the decrees and regulations I put into practice. Otherwise, the land in which I'm bringing you as your new home will vomit you out. Do not live according to the customs of the people I am driving out. I am driving out before you. It is because they do the shameful things that detest them. But I have promised you, I I will promise their land, because I will give it to you from their possession, a land flowing with milk and honey. I am the Lord your God, who has set you apart from all the people. You must therefore make a distinguish between the ceremonially clean and unclean animals, and between clean and unclean birds. You must defile you must not defile yourselves by eating unclean animals, or bird, or a creature that scurries along the ground. Sorry, there's things going on. I have identified them as being unclean for you. You must be holy, because I am the Lord. I am the Lord, am holy. I have set apart from you all the other people of your very own. Uh, Give me a second. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on back here. I did not think my mic would be able to capture it. I think I might have my mic a little too loud. Oh, it's facing the TV. Oh, that's why. That's probably why it's capturing it. Sorry for the delay. Let's see where we are. You must be holy, for I, the Lord, am holy. I have set you apart from all the other people to be to be my very own. Men and women among you who act as mediums or who consult the spirits of the dead must be put to death by stoning. They are guilty of capital offense. Yeah, that's actually another witchcraft tactic, I believe. hmm The Lord, the Lord said to Moses, "Give these following instructions to the priests, the descendants of Aaron. A priest must not make himself ceremonially unclean by touching the dead body of a relative. The only exception are his closest relatives, his mother, father, son, or daughter, or brother, or his virgin sister who depends on him because she has no husband. But a priest must not defile himself or make himself unclean for someone who is related to him only to be marriage. The priests must not shave their heads or trim their beards or cut their bodies. They must be set apart as holy to their God and must never be never bring shame on the name of God. They must be holy, for they are the ones who present the special gifts of the Lord, gifts of food for their God. Priests may not marry a woman defiled by prostitution, and they may not marry a woman who is divorced from her husband, for the priest has set apart as a holy to their God. You must treat them with as holy because they have offered up food for to your God. You must consider them holy because I, the Lord, am holy, and I make you holy. If the priest's daughter defiles herself by becoming a prostitute, she has also defiled her father's holiness, and she must be burned to death. The high priest has the highest ranks in all. Excuse me. And the highest priest has the highest rank of all priests. The anointing oil has to be poured on the head, and he has been ordained to wear the priestly garments. He must never leave his hair uncombed or tear his clothes. He must not defile himself by going near a dead body. He may not make himself ceremonially unclean even for his own father or mother. He must not he must not defile the sanctuary of his God by leaving it unattended and leave it to attended to a dead person, for he has been made holy by the anointing oil of his God. I am the Lord. The high priest may marry only a virgin. Yeah, he may not marry a widow, a woman who is divorced, or a woman who has defiled herself by prostitution. She must be a virgin from his own clan, so that is so that he will not dishonor his descendants among his clan, for I am the Lord who makes him holy. And the Lord said to Moses, give these following instructions to Aaron in all his future generations. None of your descendants will have any defects, will qualify wait, none of none of your descendants who has any defects will qualify to offer food for God. None no one who has a defect qualifi- qualifies, whether he is blind, lame, lame, disfigured or deformed, or has a broken foot or arm. Oh, lame. I might check that out in my King James Bible. What does that mean by that? Or a hunchback or a dwarf, or has a defective eye or skin sores or scabs or damaged testicles. No descendant of Aaron who has defect may approach the altar presenting special gifts to the Lord, since he has a since since he has a defect. He may not approach the altar to offer food for his God to his God. However, he may eat from the food offered to God, including the holy offerings and the most holy offerings. Huh. Yet because of his physical defect, he has he may not enter the room behind the inner curtain or approach the altar for he will defile my holy place. I am the Lord who makes them holy. And Moses gave these instructions to Aaron and his sons and all of the Israelites. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell Aaron and his sons to be very careful with the sacred garments that the Israelites set apart for me, so they do not bring shame on my holy name. I am the Lord. Give them the following instructions in the future generation. If any of your descendants are ceremonially unclean, then when he approaches the sacred offerings that the people of Israel construct constructed to the Lord, he must be cut from my presence. I am the Lord. If Aaron's descendants has a skin disease or any kind of discharge that makes him ceremonially unclean, he may not eat from the sacred offerings till he has been pronounced clean. He also becomes unclean by touching a corpse, or by having emissions of semen, or by touching a small animal that is unclean, or by touching someone who is ceremonially unclean for any reason. The man who is defiled in any of these ways will remain unclean till evening. He may not eat from the sacred offerings till he has bathed himself in water. When the sun goes down, he will be ceremonially clean again, and may eat from the sacred offerings. For this is for this is his food. He may not eat an animal that has died in a natural death, or has been torn apart by wild animals, for the world is for the wor- for this will defile him, and I am the Lord. Hmm. The priest must follow my instructions carefully, otherwise they will be punished for their sin and will die for violating my instructions. I am the Lord who makes them holy. No one outside the, a priest's family may eat the sacred offerings. Even guests who are or hired workers in the priest's home are allowed to eat them. However, if the priest buys a slave for himself, the slave may eat from the sacred offerings, and if his slaves have children, they also may share his food. If a priest's daughter marries someone outside of the priestly family, she may no longer eat the sacred offerings. But if she becomes a widow or divorced and has no children to support her, she she returns to live with her father's home as in her youth, she may eat from her father's food again. Otherwise, no one outside the priest's family may eat the sacred offerings. Any such person who eats the sacred offerings without realizing must pay a priest amount of for the amounts of eaten plus an additional 20%. The priest must not let the Israelites defile the sacred offerings brought to the Lord by allowing unauthorized people to eat them. This will bring guilt upon them and require them to pay compensation. Compensation. I am the Lord who makes them holy. And the Lord said to Moses, give Aaron and his sons and all the Israelites these instructions, which both apply, which both are native Israel to the foreigners living among you. If you present a gift as a burnt offering to the Lord, whether it is in full a fulfill a vow or a voluntary sacrifice, you will be accepted for only if your offering is a male animal with no defects. It may it may be a bull, a ram, or a male goat. Do not present an animal with defects, because the Lord will not accept it on your behalf. If you present a peace offering to the Lord from the herd or a flock, whether it is fulfill a vow or voluntary offering, you must offer a perfect animal. It may not have no defects of any kind. You must not offer an animal that is blind, cripple, or injured, or that has warts, a skin sore, scabs. Such animals must be offered to the altar as special gifts to the Lord. If a bull or a lamb has a leg too long or too short, it must be offered as a voluntary offering. It must not be offered to fulfill a vow. If an animal has damaged testicles or is castrated, You you may not offer it to the Lord. You must never do this in your own land, and you must not accept such an animal from foreigners and then offer as a sacrifice to your God. Such animals will not be accepted on your behalf, for they have multiplied or defective. There are multiple. I'm having a brain fart. I literally have the word in my head right now, and it just right out my head. And the Lord, and the Lord said to Moses, "When the calf or lamb or goat is born, you must be left with with its mother. It must be left with its mother for 7 days. From the eighth day on, it will be accepted as a special gift to the Lord. But you must never slaughter a mother animal or her offspring on the same day, whether from the herd or the flock. When you bring thanksgiving offering to the Lord, sacrifice it properly so you will be accepted. Eat the entire sacrificial animal on the day it is presented. Do not leave any of it till the next morning. I am the Lord. You must faithfully keep all my commands by putting them into practice, for I am the Lord. Do not bring shame on my holy name, for I will display my holiness among the people of Israel. I am the Lord who will make you holy. It was it was I who rescued you from the land of Egypt, and that I might be your God. I am the Lord. The Lord said to Moses, "Give these following instructions to the people of Israel. These are the oh, I had a brain fart. Give these following instructions to the people of Israel. The These are the Lord's appointed festivals, which are to proclaim as official days for holy assembly. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but on the seventh day it is a Sabbath day of complete rest, and an official day as a holy assembly. It is the Lord's Sabbath day, and it must be observed whenever you live. In addition to the Sabbath, these are the Lord's appointed festivals, the official days of the Holy Assembly that are to be celebrated are proper at their proper times each year. The Lord's the Lord's Passover begins at sundown on the 14th day of the first month. On on the next day, the 15th day of the first of the month, you must be you must begin celebrating the festival of unleavened bread. This festival to the Lord continues for 7 days, and during this time, the bread you eat must be made without yeast. On the first day of the festival, all the people must stop ordinary work and observe its official day for a holy assembly. For 7 days, you must present special gifts to the Lord. On the seventh day, the people must again stop their ordinary work and work to observe an official day for the holy assembly. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Give these following instructions to the people of Israel. When you enter the land I am giving you, and you harvest its first crops, bring the priest a bundle of grain from the first cutting of your grain harvesting. On the day after the Sabbath, the priest will lift it up before the Lord so it may be accepted on your behalf. On the same day On the same day, you must sacrifice a 1-year-old male lamb with no defects as a burnt offering to the Lord. With it, you must present a grain of offering consisting of 4 quarts of chosen flour moist in olive oil. It will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. You must also offer a quart of wine as a liquid offering. Do not eat any bread or roast grain or fresh kernel on the day till you bring this offering to the Lord. Oh, I'm over here looking at this. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation, wherever you live. From the day after the Sabbath and the day you bring a bundle of grain to be lifted up as a special offering, count off 7 full weeks. Keep counting till the day after the seventh Sabbath, 50 days after, later. Then present an offering of new grain to the Lord. From wherever you live, bring 2 loaves of bread and to be lifted up before the Lord as a special offering. Make these loaves from 4 quarts of chosen flour and bake them with yeast. I thought it was without yeast. They will be they will be an offering to the Lord from the first of your crops. Along with the bread, present seven present 7 1-year-old male lambs with no defects, 1 young bull, 2 rams as a burnt offering to the Lord. These burnt offerings, together with the grain offerings and the liquid offerings, will be a special gift, a pleasant aroma to the Lord. Then you must offer one male goat as a sin offering and 2 1-year-old 1-year-old male lambs as a peace offering. The priest will lift up the 2 lambs as a special offering to the Lord. Together, the loaves representing the first of your crops. These offerings, which are holy to the Lord, belong to the priest. That same day will be proclaimed an official day for the holy assembly, on the day of which you do no ordinary work. This will be a permanent law for you and must be observed from generation to generation wherever you live. When you harvest the crops of your land, and do not harvest the grain along with the edges of the field, and do not pick up what the harvest drops. Leave it for the poor and for the foreigners to living among you. I am the Lord your God. And the Lord said to Moses, give these following instructions to the people of Israel. On the day of your appointed month in early autumn, you are to observe a day of complete rest. It will be an official day for holy assembly, a day ceremonial with loud blasts of trumpets. Trumpets, that's interesting. You must do you must do no ordinary work on that day. Instead, you are presented a special gift to the Lord. Then the Lord said to Moses, be careful to celebrate the day of atonement on the tenth of the same month, 9 days after the festival of trumpets. Oh, that's what just happened. You must observe it from an official day for a holy assembly, a day to deny yourselves and present a special gift to the Lord. Ju- do no work during the entire day because of the day of atonement, when offerings of purification are made for you, making you right with the Lord your God. All who do not deny themselves that day will be cut from God's people, and will be and destroy anyone among you who does any work on that day. You must not do work. You must not do any work at all. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation wherever you live. This will be a Sabbath day of complete rest for you, and on that day you must deny yourselves. This day of rest will begin at sundown on the ninth day of the month. and extended till sundown on the 10th day. And the Lord said to Moses, give these following instructions to the people of Israel. Begin celebrating the festival of shelters on the 15th day of the appointed month. 5 days after the Day of Atonement, the festival to the Lord will last for 7 days. On the first day of the festival, you must proclaim an official day for a holy assembly when you do not have when you do no ordinary work. For 7 days you must present special gifts to the Lord. The eighth day is another holy day on which you present a special gift to the Lord. This will be a solemn occasion, and no ordinary work may be done on that day. These are the Lord's appointed festivals, celebrating from each year as an official days of a holy assembly by presenting gifts to the Lord: burnt offerings, grain offerings, sacrifice, liquid offerings, each on its proper day. These festivals must be observed in addition to the Lord's regular Sabbath day, and the offerings are additional to your personal gifts. These offerings will give you wait. The offerings will give you fulfillment your vows, and voluntary offerings you present to the Lord. Remember that the 7 day festival to the Lord, the festival of shelters, begins on the 15th day of the appointed month. After you have harvested all the products of the land, the first day of the and the eighth day of the festival will be completed rest will complete rest. Oh. On the day of gathering branches from magnificent trees, palm fronds, bonds, and from leafy trees and willows that grow by the streams, then celebrate with joy before the Lord your God for 7 days. You must observe these festivals to the Lord for 7 days each year. This is a permanent law for you and must be observed in the appointed month from generation to generation. For 7 days you must live outside in little shelters. All native born Israelites must live in shelters. This is a reminder this will remind each new generation of Israelites that I made their ancestors live in shelters when I rescued them from the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses gave the Israelites these instructions regarding the annual festivals of the Lord. Oh, that sounded far away because I was doing a big stretch. Huh. So some of these actually are still being followed to this day by the Jews or Jerusalem, basically, or Judaism. In the Old Testament, these laws are still being followed to this day. I think there was, I think it was September 23rd, the same day that a lot of people were talking about the quote unquote rapture of God. Yeah, I think that was also the day of the trumpets, if I'm not mistaken. I saw something about that, like, oh, it's the day of the trumpets, and I'm like, oh, understandable. Why? Yeah, but that was another one that I saw. And the trumpets? Huh. I really don't know much about like the trumpets going on. I'm not too well aware about these. Man, I don't know how to explain this. All these festivals are, all of these are going to be explained later on in the Bible. Right now, I'm just as confused as you guys are what I was trying to say. Because from what I could take from all this is Even though these are a lot of rules, most of these rules they're not really that difficult to follow. Like they're not really that difficult to follow. I know a lot of people will talk about like all the dead animals and all that. But the thing is that back then, killing an animal to sacrifice to the Lord was probably going to be your best bet, so you wouldn't be in a lot of agonizing pain. And I know I'm also an animal lover. I don't like the fact that I'm reading like, oh, you must sacrifice this amount of goats with this amount of goats and yada yada yada. But for me, but when you actually look at it, it's a way to actually sacrifice something else instead of themselves to basically atone for our sins. Nowadays, we don't really need to do that because we already had the ultimate sacrifice with Jesus. And that's actually the thing that saves us from hell right now. If we just believe in Him and do His work, follow His commands. But I know there's still parts of Israel and other parts of the world that do still practice of sacrificing animals. Oh yeah, and that sacrificing of children, I think that comes from Carthage, Carthage, which I think at the time it was a very small fishing hut or a fishing village, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Carthage, I believe at that time was probably a small. And those guys are also known for like sacrificing to Baal, which is another word for Satan. But you kind of see like what would be better, sacrificing your children for a demon or sacrificing animals to the Lord God, which then will atone you, not atone you, but basically cleanse you from your sin or from anything bad thing. But other than that, there's not really much for me to talk about this. These are just, like I said, Leviticus is mostly just about rules that the Israelites needed to follow. And it kind of puts into perspective of like what's going on. Like how strict was God during this time? Was God being cruel and all that? Or any other things? But when you actually read it, he's just telling you, hey, can you follow these festivals for me, please? And it's like, well, if you don't want to, then I could just cut you off from the community and you could go do your own thing. Simple as that. But other than that, I'm not going to keep you here for too long. I still need to do another reading to pretty much make up for today and yesterday. That's on my fault again. I'll try to do better than that. But even then, I'm still sleepy because I woke up 2 in the morning and I only had like 4 hours of sleep. So right now, I'm basically working on what my friend likes to call crackhead energy. But other than that, I'll see you all tomorrow or next video, basically.